Well, it was report day, and we finally got to see the numbers USDA came up with in both the planted acres report and the quarterly grain stocks report. On this daily market summary, we're talking with Connor Bridgman of agmarket.net. And Connor, what did we see come out of that report, and how did the grains react today?
Yeah, well, it wasn't necessarily an overly bear. It was far away from being just something runaway bullish. And so, the analysts pretty much hit the nail on the head when it came to corn and soybean acres. Very close to analyst expectations, very close to where we were in the March intentions report in terms of corn and soybean acres. Wheat was a little surprising. Maybe not to anyone that's been out west and seen what these growing conditions have been like, but we saw wheat acres down significantly. And then flipping it over to stocks, I think the overall surprise, right, if you want to be a bull and you want to only look at the bullish numbers, you're going to look at that corn stocks number. It was significantly lower than where the analysts kind of had us pegged. I do want to point out that it's still significantly higher from where we were last year, but we're going to take what we can get. Soybeans were a little bearish, a little bit higher ending stocks we saw, and then wheat was a little bit lower. Price action was interesting. We had beans really jump up on the initial reaction. We were up 15, maybe more than that at one point. Hold there. Corn was the same way. We didn't quite hold the highs, but maybe this is just me hoping, but maybe we put some floors in for the near term, because we do, as I'm looking over at it, we've got green on the board, corn up 6, up 4, and then wheat up around 8 cents.
Oh, then, of course, now that those reports are out of the way, it turns back into a weather market and, of course, watching what's going on across the globe, correct?
Yeah, absolutely right. We're always on the next headline, right? We digested that news. We've got the acres. And so now what's weather going to be like in July? You guys, but it's looking pretty hot. But along that, right, heat, it's very hot, but then also precipitation looks pretty good. But that could change very quickly, right? We've got the whole month of July to go for. And I think that the trade's going to move on. We're going to look at weather. We're going to look at demand. And we're going to look at any type of potential outside news headlines that maybe could get this thing excited.
Well, then moving over to the livestock side of things, I know cattle's been under pressure the last couple of sessions. I mean, how did they fare today? And then what did hogs do?
Yeah, cattle, we're seeing some pressure. When you look at, any type of seasonality in feeders, right, we're kind of exiting that. We've put in kind of a string of low days that, it starts getting concerning. Maybe we could go test that 200-day in the feeder market. And so we closed down on that. Hogs continue to kind of chop around, right? Maybe we put the low in. We did close positive on hogs, but livestock market's going to be down in live cattle and feeder cattle.
All right. Well, Connor, if folks want to look at some of the intel that agmarket.net's got available, or maybe talk about some of the options they have here, maybe finishing up the last little bit of marketing for this next year's crop, the new crop, and looking at what they need to be thinking about, what's the best way for them to get a conversation going?
Yeah, look us up online, agmarket.net. If you're I'm in Central Illinois. I got an office in here. Please, if you're in the area, find my information, give me a shout, stop in and say hi. But yeah, you can find us online, give us a call, send us an email, reach out anytime.
All right, Connor Bridgman's been our guest from agmarket.net. Connor, thanks so much for the insight. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, guys.